Soul cleansing. Soul
Everybody got problems. Everybody got problems. No matter which soul
cleansing. Soul
That's why we
cleansing.
gotta call them. That's why we gotta call them. My spirit's so asshole.
Soul cleansing. Soul.
My soul nearly lost my faith when I lost my brother. That's the day it went away. Mama cried. So the granny did too. So lost, so hurt. I ain't know what to do. So I yell and I cuss up at God. Like why in the fuck? How could you do that? Bring that pain in my family. It's something we did. Tell me you mad at me, cause I can't deal. And it's hard to live without my brother. And it's hard to forgive, but still I pray.
Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. We pray for better days to live our lives and make a change. Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. In your soul. Your soul. Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. We pray for better days to live our lives and make a change. Feel the water flow. This is for the fire in your soul. In your soul, your soul, your soul.
I ain't know what your life like, but I'm just trying to get my soul right. Been struggling my whole life, in the dark with no sunlight. Tired of making up excuses, going crazy about to lose it. In the midst of all the bullshit, let the music be your pulpit.
Hey, is there a working restroom in here? They have it what? They what? Hey, come here. Come kill this bug.
Look, this the shit that we on. 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 Get the shit that we do. Plain niggas an animal, come riding out like the zoo. Caged up, let us loose. Let us lose. Flat line. eyes on the matter, nigga, when you're lying dead on the news. Gotta paint that blue, gotta paint that blue. Cops kill your blood, niggas ain't talking about Pyro. Better get a clue, better get a clue. Wake up, my people, this shit can happen to you. Treating us like fools, keep killing our youth. Spreading lies in our schools, they ain't telling the truth. Fuck all of they rules, fuck all of they rules. Signing off is a new nigga with a attitude. Now this shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This shit that we
Ain't trying to just sit around and get about everything we going through. Ain't trying to live life and thank God like who the fuck is you? Ain't trying to feel years on earth. I done shed blood, shed tears on dirt. Fighting these fools trying to smear my work. On a set trip trying to clear my turf. Who are you? What am I? I'm confused. We must wanna die. Killing ourselves is another crime. Cops killing our brothers, they killing our brothers, and I know why. They got us killing ourselves, that ain't no lie. Look, let me break it down for you. First slave master, next employer. No 40 acre, no mule, no noise. Them type of eyes where the God destroys. Blood pressure makes diamonds, we shine and grind and we reach our goals. Searching for work without selling soul. This the shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This the shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. This the shit that we on, we on, we on, we on, we on, we on. Yeah, push to the side, this to the side. They take niggas' lives, kill niggas' pride. Situations get minimized. Criminal history emphasized. On the victim, they penalized. Officers don't get penalized. Big business is an enterprise. Social media, they hypnotize. That's what people don't realize. Jail and slavery, the same thing. Gotta look at what it symbolized. Still going through the same pain. About time that we improvise. Should we Nat Turner or Dr. King? Should we rise up or live the dream? Should we stay quiet, don't make a scene? Go Malcolm X by any means. Pick a size, no in between. Nigga, pick a size, no in between.
As it may, home of the castaway, the city whispers, we fast and pray. The sinner's Saturday, the saints of the latter day. From the fabulous Fox, we're like a block away. Cortland and Pine, where misfortunes align. The great disparity between your portion and mine. Such a morbid design, but of course with the time that passes, it has to start warping our minds. This familiar ugly, the foreign beauty. Amidst these red line neighborhoods, you'll find a ruby. There is hidden gems, in plain sight, in this vicious world. Rufus Wainwright, limboing the poverty line. Your life can become a crime. Panhandle for dollar signs. Feeding me can get you fined. Medicate with free base. Dank in some kind of wine. Missing rungs on that ladder to success that they want us to climb. Hey. Yeah. Yo. I love that scripture. It goes like this. Yo. Foxes have holes. Birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place. Look, I don't do handouts. I do not carry cash. I'll get you next time. This is all I have, every decline to help. It rings hella hollow, a hungry belly with only pride to swallow. Pebbles on the street leave impressions on my cheek. Today's newspaper served as tonight's bed sheet. I'm trying to make ends meet, locked in a dead heat. A survival, but yet I'm racing with these lead feet. But it is just as well. The streets of Pratt and Bell, prior to heaven, but after hell, poverty's paradise, the vagrant Valhalla, somewhere between the Inshallah and the Our Father. The park is my kitchen, my living room's a bridge, my bed is a bench, and the trash can is my fridge. Midtown, 4th Ward, Southwest, too strong. The scabs of the city been picked at for too long. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. I'm like, foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man, drop out for a second. The poverty-stricken, the inadequate, the indigent, the hapless, the penniless, the destitute. The only difference is these guys rock a tie and suit, corporate camouflage, the 3-car garage, the McMansion expansion, the opulent mirage, the 5 bedrooms, the curb appeal, the class struggle. The economy will commonly burst your housing bubble. The suburban sprawl, the gaudy high-rises, lock in that mortgage rate, for they increase the prices. Empty developments and vacant subdivisions. CeeLo told you that that gate could become a prison. Listen, nothing's wrong if you and yours want a lawn, but a castle becomes a hassle if that's where your heart is drawn. The house ain't a home, let the bank foreclose on you. It's so true, a roof can actually expose you. Foxes have holes and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. I'm like, foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. We wanna rest. We've gotta rest. We need to rest. Hey, let it set. Now we bless. We gotta rest. Chi-town, take them home.
1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. We live. We're live. Tuesday night, classic conversations with JT and Lo. As you can see, my man JT is not here tonight. Turn your volume down for me, Kristen. She's enjoying the show and on the show. But anyway, he has an engagement. Him and his wife, Miss Casper, there got a engagement for their cigars. Paid engagement, so get that money, brother. Do your thing. Yeah, they doing that thing. Coming off his wife's birthday weekend, they partied all weekend. I saw the post. Party like rock stars. So that's what's up. Got the one and only Miss Christy Gaynell here with me tonight. How are you? Good, thank you. Good.
Glad to be here as usual.
Always good to see you, ma'am.
Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Did you see the club today? Did you walk around and see the work being done?
I did. I was like, look, they made progress.
Actually
since
making
the
some
last time I was
progress,
here.
huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually popped a smile for the first time today.
You had hope.
Yeah, you know. See the green, they painted the room, the green, they got the podcast room completely green, so we got green screen built in.
Got the green screen, got the chairs and the couches lined up and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
I see the progress.
See progress, man. That's all I ask for is a little progress, you know?
We're getting there. So when's our tentative?
Oh, I'm not speaking on that yet.
It's like we just made progress.
Yeah, let's stick with the progress, Chris. So, I don't know if I can respond tonight or not, folks. I was put in Facebook jail for my first time ever. And the only thing I don't like about it is I don't know what I did.
Oh, you got put in Facebook?
For the first time, all these years I've been on Facebook.
Did you post something about COVID?
No, I don't. They don't tell you what it is. They just said some kind of community standards violation is all I know. But I don't know.
Did you post something political?
Not that I can recall. I don't know if I reposted something. I know I personally don't think I said or did anything, but I just got the email and put me in jail, man. I was like, wow.
Dang.
Yeah, first time. Have you been in?
I haven't.
You haven't yet?
No.
Man, I was on a streak.
I tread the line.
I thought I did, but I don't know. Some of you experienced folks in Facebook jail. Do they ever tell you what you actually did? I know my number one fan been in Facebook jail many times. I don't know who else has been in Facebook jail, but I know why you were in jail. You probably earned some of yours. So, but I don't know. I know a lot of people have been on there as well, but they usually could tell you why. You know what I mean?
How long are you in there?
Tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. It said it was 72 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and it throws you off because you see posts like, happy birthday post, whatever. You about to post, and then it says, you can't do it. I've been like,
That's weird.
it is weird. It's my first experience, so interesting.
Well, keep doing whatever got you there.
Right.
Did something right.
She said, well, welcome to the family. It's a badge of honor.
That's right.
I'm sure Supreme Uncle's been in Facebook jail numerous times as well. So, yeah. But anyway, got my first time, so I'll take that badge of honor. Raw. So, we've had an interesting week. Usually, we talk a little bit of sports, but I don't know. Do you watch sports? Not so much. So we won't get into that.
I see them.
You see them. They are on.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually go to sporting events, and I leave without ever knowing the score. I don't know how I manage that, but it happens quite a bit.
Quite a bit. How about that?
But I did see that the Falcons lost, so
Well,
by a significant number.
I'm gonna say this. Everyone knows I'm a diehard Steeler fan, but I've always adopted the Falcons as my backup team for lack of better words, they're like, my adopted team. So I root for the Falcons for any game they play, as long as they're not playing the Steelers.
Right.
And I've had Falcons. Y'all gone? I've had Falcons tickets for me and my business partner, my CPA. We've had the same seats. Well, not the same seats. They changed stadiums, so we were all the way at the other stadium. What was it called? Georgia Dome. For I don't know how many years, and then we moved over here and got robbed on this BS deal that they put together. Worst deal ever. They ought to be ashamed of themselves for this. What's it called, Dwayne? PSL. Worst deal ever. They lied. They lied. They lied. Did they not lie? Man, worst deal ever. But so I've been a Falcon fan. Falcon season ticket holder for a long time, and I watched that game Sunday. And I was in dismay. I was dismayed not for me, but for my Falcon fans. I really feel sorry for you guys this season. That was some of the worst display of football that I've seen in my long time from a professional team. They looked like they had absolutely no clue, no team concept, no game plan. It was bad. I was just sitting there in amazement.
I know, right? I was too.
You were too?
I didn't even know they had rebounds in football, but
You said rebound.
the Falcons were going at it. Boy. They were losing phenomenally. They were hitting foul balls and shit. It was horrible.
Say hitting foul balls? Yeah.
They were hitting
That,
foul
you know
balls.
what? That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. So, like I say, Falcon fans, I hope this is not the epitome of your season. If it is, it's going to be a very, very, very long one. Because it was pretty bad.
It's preseason.
No, this is the first. That was the first regular season game.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first game of the season. Yeah,
I tried to defend
that one counted.
That was my one attempt to defend them.
Yeah, no, it was bad. Yeah, I'm thinking it may have been a repost, Neat. I'm thinking that may have been the case. Hey, Shan Clark, how you doing? So anyway, the Eagles did defense, but they were just bad. Matt Ryan looked like
Like he should have been playing a different sport.
he looked bad. He looked bad. That's the worst I've seen him look in a long time, and he's had some bad days, but he looked really, really bad. I do think that tight end is going to be the truth. When he did catch the ball, I saw his immediate explosion. Oh, man. Oh, that kid is talented. But your team, not so much. So anyway, go ahead. What you about to say?
No, I wanted to say something unsports related, so I'm gonna wait till.
No, go for it.
I recently learned that a comedian, friend of ours in Atlanta, died last week from suicide. At least that's the Jamil Harley. The message that I got is that he died and that it was apparent suicide. And so I just want to encourage everybody to reach out to people if you haven't heard from them in a while. If you see people don't look themselves or look down, like just speak to someone, ask somebody. If you're not feeling good yourself, ask for help. Like there's a lot of love out here and we're all willing to share it if we know you need it. So don't suffer in silence, please.
You may not know, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the show last week, but that's what we discussed. Last week was about mental health.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, JT had a family member who committed suicide the day before the podcast.
Oh, wow.
And we had a therapist on with us, and we learned that Georgia was the #1 state in suicide deaths for teenagers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Isn't that scary?
That is scary.
But he gave us some really good information. By the way, he said he wants to come back because he went back and looked at the show and he realized that every time I told him to speak into the mic, why I was telling him that, because he said he really couldn't hear himself well enough and he was disappointed and he wants to come back and redeem himself. So I told him, anytime, come on back. So we're going to do it a couple of weeks so we can come back and get that information again. But yeah, he gave some really, really good dialogue. iLifeCounseling.org. That's right. iLifeCounseling.org. Brother Ernest Benson.
It's so tragic.
Right. The black therapist in Georgia. Yeah.
You just never know what people are going through.
But no, I didn't. What's the comedian's name again?
Jamil Harley.
Okay.
He's an Atlanta-based comedian, but I think he was more like punchline, whatever. But he had been in it for a minute and had a podcast and some other stuff going on. And all of a sudden,
suicide.
yeah,
That's sad.
I mean, a suicide's always unexpected, but I think with comedians, a lot of times they have the job of making people laugh, so people assume they're happy. And a lot of times they're really struggling. So.
Absolutely. Well, I agree with you on that note. Like I said, we discussed that last week, but we can never discuss mental health enough. I think we all have to take a part in that and helping, spread that word and reaching out to people. And like you said, if you haven't talked to somebody in a while, give them a call and, just see what's going on with folks. Sometimes just a simple hi goes a long way,
Right.
For people. Just to say, hey, man, how you doing?
Yeah, especially now because there's so much isolation with COVID and social distancing. People are feeling more alone than usual.
Sure.
Got to make a point to reach out to people, even as we distance.
Yeah, I was reading a story, was it yesterday, about a couple that both caught COVID at the same time, and the husband caught it first and gave it to the wife, but the wife took ill quicker and worse than the husband, but they were both hospitalized. The wife passed away, and once the husband found out she passed away, 44 minutes later, he had a heart attack and passed away. And they had 5 kids.
Young
Just
kids?
lost they were ranging from like 5 or 6 years old to teenage years. The couple was only 40-something, 44, 45 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't an old couple, So, yeah, man, we can never talk enough about mental health. We can also never talk enough about this horrible pandemic that we're still dealing with. I've spoken to several people here recently who've caught COVID. And out of the 5 or 6 folks that I've talked to who got caught COVID over this last week, only one of them was vaccinated, and he was the only one that wasn't hospitalized.
Wow.
The other 4 were all hospitalized. They all recovered, thank goodness. But my question to them was afterwards was, so, what do you think about the vaccination?
What did they say?
Oh, as soon as I'm cleared to get it, I'm getting it.
Well, they have the antibodies now. Okay, so I had the exact opposite experience.
Okay.
I know of several people who got COVID.
What's up with the audio video?
So first of all, there was a couple similar to your situation. A couple got COVID at the same time, and they were both hospitalized. The husband died. The wife currently is still living and still on oxygen, but they were vaccinated. Well, the one that died at least, had gotten the first shot, and I think he got sick before he could get the second shot. And then I know another group of people, a family, they were trying to prevent the baby from getting sick, so they picked up the baby and then caught COVID from the baby. And so it was like probably about 7 of them got COVID. None of them were hospitalized. None of them were vaccinated. And when I asked them, did they want to get vaccinated, one of them said it's the worst thing she ever experienced. She wouldn't wish it on her enemy, but she still would not get vaccinated.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
She said, I'd rather die than get that vaccine. That's what she actually said. So, and she said she was scared she was going to die. She said she passed out a couple times. She said it was like nothing she ever experienced. She still does not want to get vaccinated at all. So, well, the vaccine doesn't actually prevent, obviously, death or catching it. So, I just
That's what she said.
A friend of
Said
mine's
the husband
dad last
did
week
that.
got
The percentages
about
are very low.
Well, the percentages of people dying from COVID are very low. Period. I don't know about his pre-existing
That's why. That's
conditions,
first what I said.
but
I'd imagine.
the percentages of dying from COVID without the vaccine are less than 2%, and the percentages of dying from COVID with the vaccine are more than 1%. So it's about the same percentage whether you get it or you don't. If you're gonna, and that's the death percentage. That's not the recovery percentage. Yeah, but there's also the side effects that people are getting and not being able to report for the vaccine because the news media doesn't want to promote anything negative about it. Oh, a lot of people have had lots of harmful side effects from the vaccine. Like lung issues, blood clots. I can't run down the list, but I've seen several stories of people who've had problems and can't even get treated. Basically, my advice is build up your immune system as best you can, whether you get it or not, because if your immune system is shot, it doesn't matter whether you're vaccinated, you're still going to have issues.
Yeah, that's true. But
Right, so why get vaccinated?
you said, but why get vaccinated?
Yeah, he said if it's not going to keep you from getting it, why? I said, why?
Nothing can keep you from getting it.
So why you get it?
You're getting vaccinated to help fight off if you get it, to help fight the virus.
That's what
if
your
you get
immune system is for.
it. Okay. If that's what people want to believe, then they can choose to continue to believe that.
Honestly, I understand people who have a desire to get vaccinated, and I understand people who have a desire not to get vaccinated. The problem that I have is with the mandates and the pressure that they're trying to put on people and forcing them to get vaccinated. I don't think anybody should be forced to do anything to their own body against their will.
We have a
Period.
guest that wants to know where are you getting those stats from?
Google, duh. Where do all stats come from these days?
Funny thing about Google, I saw yesterday a video of a guy saying, I can go on Google and I can find out how to do something. Man, I wish I could remember what it was. But then he said, I can also go to that same Google and say, well, how do I not do it? It'll tell you.
Actually, those stats came directly from the CDC website. I did Google it, and the CDC website came up, and that's where I got it.
So,
What's up, Unc? Great job tonight on your speech. Awesome plaque. And my uncle did a speech today in Maryland.
Great job, Unc.
It was very good. Gave a nice tribute to his parents, my grandparents. That was awesome. He was talking about that 45 guy and detailing all of his madness. But go ahead, Will. You about to say something?
so how do you see the mandate?
How do I see it?
Right. What do you see?
I see it as a violation of human rights. That's how I see it. And I say that because there are certain laws in place that have been in place for years to protect people medically, like HIPAA. You know what I mean? Like legally, you are not allowed to ask people about their medical history. Their medical files are not supposed to be released. Like people have been getting sick from all kinds of transmittable and deadly diseases since the beginning of time. However, it's never been mandated that, one, they do something about it, or two, that they have to disclose what they've done about it for any purpose at any time during any activity in life.
Slam dunk. You have clearly I get it. Okay. So my question to you is, there's a problem here that's going on in the country that all of the hospitals are being utilized for unvaccinated people that have to go in, right? So we have a flooding. That's a problem when I can't go to the hospital because they're overrun with patients because of COVID, of unvaccinated people. That's another problem that I have not heard people really talk about, except for not tying the two together. So I would suggest, so what do you do about that?
Well, here's the thing. If you're vaccinated and you're still catching it and you're still
You're not
getting
going
sick.
to the hospital.
Yeah, I just told you about 2 people that got vaccinated,
That's
went
not
to the
over-flooding.
hospital, and
Wait,
one
wait.
died.
So
But
they
they're
weren't
contributing.
they weren't fully vaccinated,
They
right?
were. They're still contributing.
Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused.
I'm saying a lot of vaccinated people are still having to go to the hospital.
to
It's
me.
not only
Just listen.
unvaccinated people going to the hospital.
Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Just understand what I'm saying. You're talking about 2 people. We're talking about.
I'm talking about 2 people I know personally.
That's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm addressing is the overflooding of people. It's not the 2 people that you're talking about. It's more, the statistics say that the majority of the folks that are tying up the beds, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not the 2 people that you're talking about, a minority. And wait, I want you to really hear what I'm saying, okay? I understand what you're talking about, and you make a great point. So instead of just talking about that, let's open it up and understand that we have to do something about the hospitals, because I see the mandate as trying to reduce that, because I got people now that want to go in, that are healthy people to go in to get regular surgeries, can't get it done because of people that are, like you saying, exercising their right, which is what they have. I agree with that. So what do you do about that? You can't close your eyes. You can't look at just what you're talking about without looking at the total picture. And see, something has to give. So instead of, I'm ready. I hear what you're saying, and I agree. But my question is, what do you do? I don't want to sit here and just say, so you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. No, that's not an answer for me.
I don't want to speak to your statistics because I think that statistics are being influenced by the media. However, in the last month, I've known of 12 people who caught COVID, and the only 2 that went to the hospital were the 2 that were vaccinated.
Okay,
The other 10 didn't even go to the hospital, as sick as they got.
Check this
So
out. I
don't know what your
that 5
statistics.
kids a day at Emory Hospital. I have a friend that works there. He works in the IT department, working on the defibrillators. They had to order 50 more defibrillators or whatever that is. And he said 5 kids last week were dying every day. Every day.
And these
But
are
they're
people.
not
These
saying
are
whether they're
people. No,
They're
they
not
are
saying whether they're vaccinated
they
or
are,
unvaccinated.
No, they are saying that.
No, they're not.
I'm saying vaccinated or
Who's not?
unvaccinated.
The
What
people in the hospital
Will it?
aren't
But this is what I'm
saying.
saying. But what Will is saying is that it's 2 sides to the story. Like, well, it's a whole circle. So you're not wrong and he's not wrong. But what he's saying is we're trying to be solution based.
I
What
agree.
what would your solution be to solving the problem? Because he's saying his solution and what the president's solution is, mandating the vaccine for people at work. And then these are private companies. You understand, with a private company, they have the right to hire and fire you, whether by stuff they put in a code of conduct or their book. So this is what I'm saying. The
In
difference
this
is
state-
what Biden did was he made companies now incorporate this mandate into their practices. So
Which is
as
unlawful.
why is it unlawful when it's a
Because it
private
violates-
company?
It's not
It's
unlawful.
not
Violates
unlawful when it's a
human
private.
rights.
But the
Christy.
difference, you work for a company. You could choose not to work, and that's what I was gonna say.
Your children. I know your
First of
kids are
all, wait,
older,
I
but
wanted
your
to
children
address
could
what-
not go to school If they didn't have
That's what we'll say.
the measles vaccination, the smallpox
That's not true.
vaccination.
My children did not have those vaccinations, and they did go to school.
So you refused to have them vaccinated.
Yes, I
public
did.
school.
Yes, they did.
So you had to get some
In
kind of
Virginia, they couldn't do that.
you had to
In
get some
every
kind of
state
waiver
they can.
in order to do
Yes,
that.
you
Then
can
I'm
get
sure.
a waiver,
Yeah.
and then they can still
But the reality is, majority of the people were vaccinated in order to attend school. Yours may have been one of the few that were not, but majority were. And why did they get vaccinated for those particular diseases? To stop the spread. That's why.
But what
No other reason.
What did
So-
it do though? It also
What do you mean? What did it do? Do you
increased-
see a smallpox breakout?
Hold on. No,
Have you seen a
but I
measles
saw
breakout? What do you
autism
mean?
breakout. I saw an increase in autism and other disorders that children have been getting as a result of the vaccines. It's not.
What are you
yes,
basing
it may
that
have
on?
solved one problem.
What are you basing that on?
Research.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of
But let's
research
just
that
be real
indicates
here.
that those children that are getting
Okay.
vaccinated are
I get it.
also acquiring other ailments
How about
and
we just
disorders
cut to the
that are
chase?
causing them issues in life.
Let's cut to the chase. Okay? Nothing.
I'm gonna get to some of y'all comments in a minute.
100%. Nothing.
Then nobody.
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. And you're on the position of trying to be. Yeah, I hear you. I hear no solution. Wait a minute. Let me finish. What you're talking about, you got smallpox that's wiping us out. And then you're right, autism did come from that. You're absolutely correct. But there has to be a decision made. And maybe it was a bad decision. Maybe it should have been something else to provide it, but it wasn't. So do you sacrifice a little to save a lot? This is real now.
I say you don't dictate to people what they should do to their bodies. That's what I
this is
say.
what we should do.
That's what every law is, though, is it not?
But
Well,
that's
I don't agree with them.
So wait.
Okay, go
Follow me on this. Okay, so yes, you're right. I say, because see, I'm not going to just sit back and say, I'm going to make a decision, right? And I think that's what companies are doing. I'm going to make a decision. And my decision for me would be you choose not to work. I'm not saying that you have to get it, but I'm saying for me as a company to invest in and keep my business moving forward, I'm not going to be tied up with you because you creating me, you cost me because you have this choice. So don't work for me. You
See,
still got your
that
right.
just
Wait,
perpetuates
A la
social
Cam Newton.
ignorance.
you still have your choice, right? I'm not
Speaking to the mic, Will.
Oh, I'm not violating
No, you are. You're violating my choices by making me tell you whether I'm vaccinated or not.
But
That's
you
the
violate-
problem.
whoa,
No,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
HIPAA laws.
My business,
HIPAA
I'm
law.
not- I don't have to fi- I
Those
don't-
laws are in place for a reason. There are a lot of transmittable diseases out there, and the laws are designed so that people do not risk losing their job as a result of having a disease, whether it's transmittable or not. That's the whole point
bugging.
behind the HIPAA
What's the
law.
difference between
That's why,
that
and a
and
lot
any
of those
other
laws
rule?
came into place when people
Why
got
is that-
AIDS and cancer because they were being discriminated against left and right because people
So
were
this is a
afraid. They
civil
didn't know
rights
what the
thing.
disease could do. They didn't know who could catch it. They didn't know how it
Here's
was
the difference.
communicated. So they were like, okay, they were just firing people. Oh, you look like you might have AIDS. There's so many legal statutes that are in place just for this reason, and now we're tearing them all down because of this one incident.
Because we're losing millions
Millions
of
of
people.
We're
You don't
not.
see that? We're
Okay,
not?
Hold on, Google
We're
this.
not?
No,
People are
Google.
dying.
Hold on. Yes, some people are dying. People die from
Not
everything.
some,
No,
not some.
Listen to me.
People
One
are
second.
dying
Okay.
at an accelerated rate.
No, they're not. Google the number of people that died in 2020, period. And then Google the number of people that died in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013, 2012, 2011, 2010. There is not a larger amount of people who died in 2020 than in any previous year. The only difference is what they labeled cause
I
of
do
death.
not believe your statistics.
Then Google it.
No, why don't you just, like I said, you don't believe my statistics? What sort, you give it, you're the one presenting it. Why do I
Go
have
to
to
the
Google it?
CDC website and check the number of
Send me
people
the
that
link.
died. Actually,
Pull it up on your phone
specifically
right
pull
now.
up the number of
Pull it
people
up
that
on the
died
phone.
from
DC sent me one.
influenza.
He already sent me one website
Who's the number of
to
people that
conflict
died
with her
from
first statement.
influenza
But I don't know how to
versus
get it.
in 2020
Can
versus
you see the comments on my
2018,
page?
2017, 2019.
Because DC got a link that I want you to look up.
Go ahead.
Well, Angela's pulling it up now.
Not that, but he.
I don't have.
No. He put up something based on your first stat
Which stat?
about the number of people dying, and not he sent something to contradict that.
And see, the thing
from
that,
the CDC, because he said he works for the CDC.
Concerning to me is that you choose to select. You say that the statistics are wrong. Whenever you get whenever people get challenged, the last resort is
it's on my chat.
I don't believe the statistics.
You can't see it
but
on
you
mine.
got statistics. And why should you trust
Well,
your
you're the one who
statistics?
trusts statistics. So since you trust the statistics, look at them.
I'm just saying.
Not just the ones
But
that
you
fit your
saying
argument.
you doubt. You said you doubt the statistics.
I doubt all of the political.
So why aren't you doubting yours? If you doubt all of it, you doubt all of it.
If I'm going to argue with somebody based on the fact that they believe statistics, then I'm going to use what they believe as their argument.
No. You
Why
call
not?
it out for what it is. Then you cannot make the statement that you don't
If
trust
you
the statistics.
believe in statistics, then I'm going to tell you,
You
I'm going to
cannot
prove
use
you
that
wrong
argument.
by statistics.
Then
That
you
doesn't
cannot-
mean I have to believe statistics.
But you don't use it in your argument then. You
Why?
limit that
That's
because
what
you
you-
said
that's
you-
what works
but
for you.
communicated-
That's
but
what your
if it
belief
works
system
for
is
me-
based
If
around.
it works for me, then don't come at me and say
That's like
you
telling
don't
me
believe my
I don't
statistics.
believe the Bible, but you believe the Bible, and I
No, it's
shouldn't
not.
argue
It
with you
has-
the
those are
Bible
two
because
different-
I
that
don't
is
believe
not-
it. You believe it, so I'm arguing with you based on what you believe.
But then I don't. Then you come back and say I don't believe in the Bible. Or
I don't
whatever it
have
is.
to believe it to use it to prove my argument.
But
If that's
you
what you
said.
believe.
But I'm saying out of the words that come out of your mouth as a rebuttal to what I'm saying is that. And
I
that is a
don't have
cop out
to
because
believe
then
it.
you deviate from the rule of the game that you set up by
Well-
saying that you're gonna talk to me on a statistic level.
And
So
I'm-
come correct with all of it. Don't come correct.
What
And
were
then
you-
when it gets to a certain point, you conveniently back out and say, well, I don't believe the statistics. You can't do both. And that's
I
what
said
I'm
I
saying
don't
about this
believe
whole
your
situation.
statistics.
You can't complain about it because nothing
But
is
you
100%.
believe yours.
No.
You don't believe yours either?
I believe specifically about statistics that they're skewed to support various arguments. But because so many people with regard to this particular argument have a strong belief in the statistics put out by the CDC, those are the statistics that I use in my argument because those are the ones that people seem to feel are legitimate.
All right. With that being said, DC's on the line. Go ahead, DC. What's up, brother?
Hey, Lo, what's going on? How y'all doing, man? Let me
Hello.
say first and foremost, young lady, I don't know where you get your information from, but I work with CDC. And one thing that CDC will not put up there is the number of people that's dying, that's vaccinated, versus the number of people that's unvaccinated. Now, what they will do is put up there that they have a trend of at least 75.8% of adults with at least one vaccination. And what I mean by one vaccination means that they took it for the first time. Now, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but the first thing that they teach you when you go into any type of school, that you go to an official .org website or an official .gov website, not no blog website, not no other site, because what happens is all this data that you're saying is supposed to be pure data where you can go to any university and you pull this up, okay? If you see yourself right now, the way we see how you seeing, the first thing we say, oh man, she just throwing stuff up to the wall, as they used to say. They throw doo-doo or boo-boo to the wall and think it's going to stick, and it's not going to stick, okay? I'm talking from experience. I am a grandfather who had an 11-year-old son died from COVID, okay? Now, listening to people like you who say, oh, it's a cold, it's a joke. It's not a joke, okay?
I didn't say
Here
it was a
in
joke.
California,
Don't
hold on for a minute,
misquote
I
me.
heard you.
No, I
Here
didn't.
in California, okay, besides Texas and Florida and New York, our cases are running rampant, okay? And the thing about it is this, we're at a almost 99.9% rate that everybody that's in there for COVID, okay, are there because they haven't taken the vaccination shot. They're taking up at least 95% of the beds in California. Okay, so what they're saying is two things. Either A, they don't believe it. B, that they think it's a joke. Or C, they don't care. Now, when you said about the HIPAA, yes, you was right on certain things, but this is a pandemic. A pandemic and a virus is two different things. When there's a pandemic, there's laws in place that supersede other laws. Just like having a driver's license is a privilege. Just like getting on an airplane is a privilege for travel. If you don't, and it's coming down, okay, that you get this vaccinated shot, okay, it's basically like saying the gift that keeps on giving. Right now, and I ask anybody this, if they had a vaccination out that's in clinical trials that would say this could cure cancer, this could cure AIDS, or this could cure anything, okay, do you think we will get resistance? No. You will have people lining up to take those shots just to make sure that it's okay. But the thing is this, until it hits home, when I mean hit home, until it hits one of your children, like in the biblical, when Moses told Ramsey about the firstborn in Egypt, and it hit home, he didn't believe things hit till it hit his son. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh my God, this is real. Okay, so the stats that you're giving, young lady, I don't know where you're giving them from. Okay, I work with CDC, and when I put up links to go directly to the site that you was talking about. So I want to know where you're getting these stats from. I'll go on mute, Lo.
First of all, let me clarify. I did not say that COVID was a joke. I never said that. I don't mean to imply that. I know that it is a very dangerous virus that is harming a lot of people. Even people that aren't dying from it are having long-term side effects and suffering from it. So I'm not trying to imply by any means that it's a joke or it's a hoax or that it doesn't exist. But I am saying that statistically, no more people died from COVID or died over the course of that year as a result of COVID than the number of people that die over the course of any other year. I'm saying statistically, the only difference is that a lot of things that would have been labeled cause of death, influenza, cause of death, heart disease, cause of death, heart attack, cause of death, cancer, cause of death, pneumonia, were often labeled cause of death COVID. And that's why the COVID rates appear higher. So a lot of times they're not saying that COVID necessarily was the cause of death. Sometimes they say died with COVID, and sometimes they say died from COVID. Because I look at the statistics.
So
no, I'm not contradicting myself.
She's reading a stat right here that said, go ahead.
Okay, the thing I want to ask you is this, Lo. Let me turn this down, Lo. I'm sorry. Because I'm trying to hear. What I want to know is, in the last 30 days, we had
That's not what I said.
600,000.
Hold on 1 second, DC. Hold on 1 second, DC. We hear you. Go ahead.
Right.
So how is that not saying that there's not more people dying, it's less people dying? You're saying
It's not less people. The same amount of people are dying.
It's not true because if
It is true.
Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. Because if this was the truth, it wouldn't be a pandemic. Nobody would be talking about it. We would be moving around every day like nothing happens because people die every day. But obviously, people are dying at a more rapid rate, and more people are dying. That's why.
So this is what she's reading before you chime in, DC. She has a world historical death rate data. And this is coming from, what is this from?
I don't know when I Googled it, it said CDC.
Yeah, I don't see the CDC up there. But it says on this particular statistic, what she's basing it on, oh, there it goes. In 2021, the death rate is 7.645. In 2020, 7.612. In 2019, 7.579. 18, 7.546. So the rates did increase here. Well, no, they were 7.5 all the way down to 2015, and they're still less. The only one that was more than 2,000 right now is 2000.
11,
yeah.
12, 11, 12, 13. Before 2010, they were 7.8 or 8.
Where we at now? What was it in 2020?
7.6 and 7.6.
7.612.
Overall death rate.
The worldwide death rate.
Hey, Lo, where's that website at? What website is that coming from?
Google worldwide death rate. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Let's pull up United States.
Okay, Lo, you can't Google that. Okay, she giving false information.
No,
Okay,
I'm not.
first she said she got her data from CDC, and we can replace. And like Lo always say, one thing I love about this show is that Lo will go back and replay it. You said you got your data from the CDC website. Okay, now I'm looking at global deaths from COVID-19 reported 100,000 population in the past 7 days. Okay, so I'm trying to, you saying you going to a website. Is that an official government website? Okay, you got to look at what you're looking, because I heard what you said, and you said you got your data from the CDC website. It's no different than a couple of months ago, and I love Lo and them because they brought it back up 2 shows ago when they had somebody come on the show and said that, oh, COVID cannot affect black people. It doesn't attack us. It doesn't do this. That was the most idiotic statement that somebody could ever make. And the thing about it is this: you have people out there, young lady, that will go out there and dispute what you are saying just to see if you know what you're talking about. Okay, and when you talk like this, you got to be able to back this data up, and you got to make sure that you have facts. You can't say Google. Okay, I know plenty of people careers got destroyed for putting bad information out there. So I'm telling you, I can't tell you how to be a comedian, just like you can't tell me how to take and work with soldiers that got viruses and veterans. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, and the thing about it is this: they can listen to what you saying, but I'm listening to what world-renowned doctors and biologists and environmental doctors say about this disease. You're going off of what to Google, because everything I heard you say was Google, or when someone asks you a question on where you're getting it from, then you say CDC, and when people go look at it, like, where you find it at? So I need to have a tight shot group
20%.
and let me know where you at, because if it is true what you're saying, I'll be the first
More
to say, you know what you're talking about.
What did you say?
I got you, DC. So my question.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
If it is true what you're saying, I'll be the first to say, you know what you're talking about.
Hey, your phone faded out, DC. Your phone fading out. We can't hear you. But hold on. But hold that thought 1 second. Go ahead, Will.
Since preliminary, this is just a quick search.
Go ahead.
20% more deaths this year than last year.
From what?
USA. For the,
You said you just asked for deaths. You gave 20%
So
more.
You're saying that 20% more people died this year.
in 2020 than 2019.
20% more people died in the United States.
Okay.
Read the whole thing.
I mean,
He wanted to say the United States. What
I
whole
just
thing you
wanted
looking
to check
for?
the United States.
So let me ask you this question.
572,000 more people died in 2020. Does that help?
That's all it says.
But that's all we were talking about. You said your world statistics.
You was
No,
going. You
because
want a total
you're
death rate, so you're
reading a
going
piece
total
of-
death rate.
You're reading a piece of something. I don't know what you're reading or. Where
All
you're
I'm
reading
saying.
it from.
Okay, wait. Let's
No,
stop
I'm
this
saying
shit.
you're
He did the same thing you did.
Right.
He used statistic to argue your statistic.
That's all.
That's what you said you would do. He
But I
did the
don't
same
know
thing.
Like I don't know.
And
what
now wait a minute. I just want to check you a little bit. Okay. I did nothing any different than what you just did. I Googled it and I said preliminarily, I read exactly what I got.
Let me see
You
it.
read, wait a minute, because wait. Because you said the world statistics and the death rate was such and such. And I was like, I give a damn about that. I live in the United States. Let's see what the United States is, because that affects me.
But I feel like
And I
you're
said,
leaving out words.
wait a minute. So, and I said 20%. And then you said, I want more details. So I'm going to give you specifics. While death certificates from 2020 are still being processed, over 572,000 more people dead generally in 2020 than in 2019. That's 20%.
Let me see it.
That's all I wanted to know.
I want to see it.
I'll see you.
You can bring. Yeah, I'm about to say you can bring it over. Let us see it. So, Christy, what do you think the vaccine is for then? What do you think it's for?
USA facts.
as she's reading statistics. While she's doing that, I'll read some of the comments. Orlena, have you noticed we're the only country that have not gotten any handle on this because of folks thinking like that? Folks dying all the time could be prevented. No HIPAA laws to protect privacy, the laws to keep people from dying. Let's see, what was the other one I wanted to read? Not that one. The virus is worldwide. Every inch on Earth was affected. That didn't happen in 1918. People need to stop listening to BS and research.
Just a second.
She reading deep, ain't she? Looking for something?
No, yeah, I am. What do you mean, why? I don't believe in the statistics, but I need to know them.
Christy,
What you trying to hide?
Christy, question. What is the vaccine for? What do you think it's for?
I don't know what the vaccine is for, but I find it alarming that they're trying to make everybody get it. The problem for me is we live in a country, right, where black people are being mauled down in the street, killed by cops. There's no remorse. There's nothing to prevent or protect black people in general, but all of a sudden they're trying to force black people to take the
They're not
vaccine.
forcing
They're
black
trying to
people.
pay-
They're not
trying to-
forcing black
they're-
people.
no,
They're
they're-
forcing
no,
They're trying to
but no,
encourage
they're
everyone,
trying
white,
to
black, Hispanic,
force people
you
to
name
take
the race.
vaccine.
They're trying
We
to
already
get
know
everyone.
that there's a depopulation agenda.
Turn it back up just a little bit, Will. That's what I know. I'm talking just a little bit. Right, you're right there. Thank you, sir. But why? I'm trying to.
I don't agree with mandates. That was my whole argument.
To build your
first
resistance,
of all,
what the shot
I
is.
don't care who gets it or who doesn't. I don't think it should be mandatory, period. I don't think anybody should be allowed to tell me what I can and can't put in my body, period. That's how I feel.
But
And
the
you're
problem.
welcome
But
to disagree.
well, here's the only issue, right? How are we gonna ever? And this is why Biden is doing what he's doing. How are we ever going to at least get a handle on this pandemic if people refusing to take the one thing that can help curve the numbers? It's not going to prevent you from getting it, just like they can't prevent you from getting the flu, just like they can't prevent you from getting the cold. However, you taking the vaccine, when you take the flu vaccine, I'm assuming you won't do that either, but if you take the flu vaccine, it helps people, it curve the numbers. And that's all they're trying to do is curve the numbers. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing, right? If you believe that the vaccine works for you and it's going to prevent you from getting it or prevent you from dying or prevent it from being as bad, then I don't know why you should care whether or not anybody else gets it. You're protected. You're good. If I get it and I die,
Because of the
that's
constant
not your
spread.
issue.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Protected yourself.
No, you're
Go
wrong.
Be happy in your protective bubble.
Even if
and
you
leave
get,
me alone.
you're wrong.
This is why
even if
black
you
No,
get the
I'm
vaccine,
not
even if you get the
wrong.
vaccine, you can still catch COVID, which means you can
Exactly.
still spread it.
Exactly.
And that's because people
there's
won't take
no
the
point
vaccine.
in getting it.
It's to curve those
It's
numbers.
not curving the numbers. Just like you said, you can still get it, and you can still
You can get it
spread
from people
So
who
there's
won't
no
take the
point in
vaccine.
taking no, you can get it from people who did get the vaccine.
Excuse me. I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning of this. Okay? The hospitals are overrun.
Okay, so
Wait, let me
you
finish.
asked for a
let me be
solution.
clear about that. Are overrun with this stuff with COVID.
You asked for a solution, right?
And you got a solution to that?
Yeah.
So that is.
Oh, we're waiting on
let's
that.
let's just deal with that. Let's not even try to solve the world's problem. Let's solve that problem. Because when I go to the hospital, I want to go to the hospital. I want to be able to do that, and I can't now because
My solution is COVID treatment centers.
Okay, this is what I say. I say those that don't want to take the vaccine don't.
Hey, Lo, I just got one question to ask, bro. So if it's not a vaccine, since Girder, Gary, Shorter said something, if it's not a vaccine, then what is it then? Okay, since all these Einstein doctors with these PhDs, I want to know.
I don't think she's arguing that it's not a vaccine. She's arguing that the vaccine doesn't make a difference. Is what the way I'm understanding.
My
it.
argument is not whether or not it's a vaccine, not whether or not it makes a difference, not whether or not it solves the problem. My argument is whether or not it should be mandated and that somebody should be allowed to force me to put it in my body. That's my argument.
How are they forcing you?
Oh, Biden's been on the news talking about we should go door to door, pick people up, put them in cars, and take them to get shot. I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, I am anti-mandate. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say I'm anti-vaccine. I didn't say that the vaccine might not benefit some people. I don't feel like anybody should be able to mandate to me what I do and do not put in my body or do not do to my body at all, period.
Just like we do,
So
just
when
like
I
we do
came
other
on,
government.
I thought we were going to be talking about abortion, and my argument for abortion was going to be the same. I don't think anybody should mandate what I do to my body,
We agree.
period. My argument for prostitution is the same. I don't think anybody should mandate what I do to my body, period.
Okay, so then don't go
That's
cloud
crazy.
the hospitals
Okay, you know what? Hey, Lo,
I have not been to the
Don't
hospital.
take away my right.
I
am
can
not
agree with
taking
that.
away your
I can agree
rights.
with you saying, young lady.
Nobody's
And
infringing
you are
on your
true.
rights.
Let me finish.
There's
Let me
nowhere
say
that your rights are being infringed on by anybody.
Here's how.
That's not an infringement
how.
of
But let
your
me ask you this
rights.
question. If that's the case, then, and if that's your right, then, right, should it not be my right to pay child support? Should it not be my right?
It's your right
take
to
and
wear
say,
a
you know what,
condom.
I don't want to pay my half of the divorce.
It's your right to
Okay,
wear a
it is my
condom.
body.
It's your right to
It is
not
my
get
money I'm
married.
making.
No. What I'm saying is
So,
this.
so what's the difference?
It's your
All
right
I'm
to
saying
not
is
get
this.
divorced.
Because of your decisions to not have a vaccine, and I chose to take the vaccine, we should all bear the. I also have to be accountable for what happens to me, right? Because I accepted that fact. If I catch something or whatever, if I have side effects, I've accepted that responsibility. I say the people that don't get vaccinated should accept what comes with that. And that's what I say.
The
And I say-
majority of people that I
because if
know-
you don't, wait a minute, because if you don't do that, then you are infringing on my right. Because right now, I said it is my right to be able to go to this hospital
It is.
and get checked out. But guess what? I can't because of
Yes.
the choice that people made not to take the vaccine.
First of all, everybody has a right to make choices. Second of all, every person that I know personally that has chosen not to get the vaccine.
talking
Hold
about that. I'm
on.
talking
Can I
about
finish?
me. I can't
You
go
wanted
to
me.
the doctor.
I'm not
I
stopping
can-
you from getting to going to the doctor. I'm not in the hospital.
If you
When
don't-
I
if-
get sick, I'm not going to the hospital because I don't trust the hospitals
so-
or their
so people-
protocols.
so
and
let's
all
make
of the
it-
people
so
that I
let's-
know who have been
so
sick
let's
from
just say
COVID
everyone
have
like
also
you,
not gone to the
everyone like
hospital.
you,
All
everyone
the
that
people
makes
that
that
I
decision,
know that made that decision also have not gone to the
My
hospital.
solution is everyone that makes your decision does not go to the hospital.
Okay, we're already doing that.
No, you're not.
No, they're going to the hospital. They're taking up all the hospital beds.
They're taking up all the hospital
That's what he's
beds.
saying.
People I know, that's all I can speak for. I don't know who's in the
The
hospital.
people I know,
haven't been in the
people I know
hospital.
go to the hospital, and the people I know that come out of the hospital go get vaccinated.
I don't know those people.
Right, and I don't know those people.
Okay, so what are we arguing about? I'm
We're
not infringing
arguing.
on your
I'm
rights.
just
This is
trying-
a
we're
whole
not
argument.
arguing. I'm just trying to let you know that there's another side to what you're saying because
The-
you're very vocal
But I'm
about
not
it.
affecting the other side. I'm
You
not
are.
in the
I just
hospital.
told you that.
How? Am I in the hospital? Am I on oxygen?
He's saying
When I
he's
got
saying
sick,
the
was I in
people
hospital?
the people with
When I
those
got
the
sick?
Come
people with
on
those
now,
same
come on.
views is what he's saying.
I
So
can't
so so
speak
so
for everybody's views any more than you can.
no.
You're not being- you're
We
just
understand
being
that.
difficult, right?
But we're saying
I'm not being difficult.
but we're just saying the people with those particular views are getting sick, and then they're taking up all the hospital beds for their refusal to do what could have prevented
That's an
it.
assumption. We don't know what those people's
Now
views are.
it's an assumption.
We don't know what their views
right.
are.
Hold on. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I was just calling to explain what I meant by these shots are not vaccines.
Okay.
If you want to know, look up the definition of a vaccine. A vaccine kills, eliminates, and does not allow a virus to transmit. These shots do none of that. So that's not a vaccine. These are just simply resistance building or immunity building shots for your body, just like the flu shots were. You can say it's a vaccine, but it's not a vaccine.
Well, Karen Robinson says it's a difference. The shot, like flu and other shots, have the antibiotic virus in the shot. The COVID shot doesn't have the antibiotic virus in it. That's why the COVID shot doesn't stay in your body. You have to get booster shots.
Regardless of whether it does that or not, it's a shot. It's not a vaccine. The flu shot is not a vaccine. These shots do not eliminate or eradicate COVID. They do not stop it from spreading, and they do not kill it. So therefore, this is not a vaccine. It is a immunity resistance building shot. That's all it does. It helps you build up resistance.
So and is that a problem? And so your point of saying that is what exactly? Based on taking this shot, whatever you want to call it, or not?
Okay, so they're not making it mandatory for you to take any other resistance immunity building shot. Right. Why is it mandatory for you to take this?
Because people all over the world aren't dying from anything else.
Absolutely, and there's people all over the world
not at this number I'm talking about. This rate. Come on, are y'all serious?
There are people that are naturally vaccinated from this also. Those people that are naturally vaccinated that got sick and survived, the asymptomatic people that got sick and survived and spreaded it themselves because they are just as volatile as the vaccine, because even though they don't have the symptoms, they spread it. You have so many people dying. If you have 600,000 that died, how many do you think survived? In order for you to have a total number of 600,000, that means that, and it stays in the 2 to 2.5 percentile range. That means that you've had over 60. What is it? What's the number? If 600,000 is 2%, then that means that the 2%, the 98% that survived, is way larger than the 600,000 that died. And the total of people that we had died from the COVID and the whole pandemic in the United States is no more greater than what we experienced in death tolls and rates, period.
So hold on. This is my question to you and Christy. So
I'm trying to hear everybody. I cannot hear you.
Hold on. This is the only question I'm sorry. This is the only question I have for you and Christy. Do you guys mind wearing masks for however this lasts?
Forever.
That's all I'm asking.
Forever.
I don't have a problem with wearing masks.
I said I don't prefer to wear masks.
I don't have a problem with wearing masks. I have a problem with them giving a mandatory mandate for a immunity resistance builder. There's no other immunity resistance builder that you are mandated to take.
Okay, give me one. Hold on. Give me an example of another what you call it, immunity, whatever you just said. Give me another example of something else that's spreading worldwide right now.
The flu shot.
Look at the numbers of the flu. Look at the numbers of the flu deaths versus the number of
wait.
COVID. You
don't compare. Bro, don't compare the numbers of the flu now.
And they're nowhere near each other anymore.
Say it again, bro.
Say again.
I was saying don't compare flu numbers to COVID numbers.
They're nowhere near the same. What do you mean?
I'm not, bro. I'm not saying they are. This COVID virus, and this is another thing that I don't want nobody to mistake either. COVID is real as shit. COVID is just as real as Israel is. Both of them are fake as hell to a lot of people, but they both kill people. You know what I'm saying? It's just as real as Israel, if you want to get specific. Okay? I'm not saying it's not real. All I'm saying is that it is a weaponized virus, and the only defense that they give us to do is an immunity resistance builder. And in our history, as long as we've been attacked by anything that is not a virus, and it wasn't mandated, because we can treat it with immunity resistance. So let's build up the immunity resistance. And look, this is what we suggest you do, but you don't have to do it.
So you're only, this is all I'm asking you, because we're going in circles. So you and Christy's only defense is build up your immune system. That's what you're telling America in the world.
Absolutely.
What do you mean?
Okay,
That's
so
the best thing you can do for yourself
That is the best thing you could do for yourself. But what we're saying is that's not working. That's what.
No, hold on. No, you
no,
can't. No,
it
let
never
me
was.
speak to it. Let
Look
me
at the
speak to
people.
it.
Look at the people
Let
who
me speak to it.
survived it.
First
It's
of all,
the natural immunity.
Listen, I'm
is
not saying.
I wanna
So let me
speak to
say
that.
this. So if you're saying, hold on, this is the difference. You're saying building up your immunity system, which is a preventative action, right? So if you do this
Right.
preventative action and still catch it, what did you prevent?
First of all, you said that's
so
not
no, hold
working,
on,
but
hold on.
that is false information because the things that happened when COVID hit, everything that occurred from that moment to this one has been designed to break down your immune system. People were told to isolate, to social distance. Those things break down your immune systems. People were taken off of their jobs and stressed out about money. That also breaks down your immune system. People were told to stay in the house and not go outside. That breaks down your immune system. All of the things that were considered protocols, wearing a mask on a regular basis, also breaks down your immune system. So all of the protocols that were put into place were strategically designed to break down your immune system. So don't tell me building up
Are
your
you
immune system
serious?
doesn't
Are
work.
you serious?
I'm absolutely serious.
You think that people really think this thing's out? You think that people are really sitting in a round table and discussing these things in order to hurt everybody?
We're talking about the same people
but
that
this is what I'm
brought
saying.
the
Hold on,
flu
but
over here to
but
kill
let me
the
say
Native
this,
Americans,
Christy,
right?
Christy,
We're talking about those
Christy, hold on,
people.
let me
We're
say this.
talking
The only,
worldwide,
let me say this too. Then
Worldwide.
let me say this,
Worldwide.
and we're only discussing this amongst us, amongst our people. The other people aren't discussing it.
Oh, yeah,
They're getting
are.
vaccinated.
No, they're not. Not
Are
all
you
of them.
sure? Because this is what I'm asking.
Just
Because you
the
keep on,
Trump-
because you keep
just
on
the Trump-
giving.
just the Trump morons.
No,
Let me say this.
A lot of people are
listen,
not, and a
when
lot of
I
people
went to
are
get my,
against
when,
of
let me
other
say this.
races as well.
This is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is I don't care whether here or there. I'm a solution based
Karen,
person.
you're right.
You guys don't have
Everyone
any
will
solution.
get-
You guys are giving me something that you're supposed to do anyway. That's all I'm saying. You're not giving me a solution.
Because
You're giving me
the reality of it
to, but
is,
you're not doing it.
The reality is what she's saying and what Jaren is saying is you're supposed to build up your immune system, but you're also supposed to brush your teeth 3 times a day. Does that happen? It doesn't
Some
happen.
people
That doesn't happen. Does everybody do it? No. So the reality of it is because we know everybody's not going to build their immune system, you got to get some kind of support, and that's what this thing is to support it because
But
we
the
know
problem is,
people
so-
aren't going to do the right thing. That just how many times you go in the bathroom,
Here's
folks?
the thing.
How many times you go in the
I'm not
bathroom,
telling you
people don't
not
wash
to
their
get
hands?
Vaccinated. No, but I'm not telling you don't get vaccinated. I'm telling you don't
No,
force on
no,
me.
no.
If people are supposed to brush their teeth 3 times a day and you don't, and your teeth fall out, and I do, and mine don't be mad at me and don't tell me that I have to go get some kind of dental fixtures or
think
dentures.
they're talking about going
You tell
door
me
to
I have
door
get
and making
No,
you take
no.
My
The
teeth are in perfect
point is
condition.
the point
I
is people aren't
don't
going to
need
do
dentures.
it. People aren't going to do it.
Some
is the
people
point.
won't, and they will suffer,
but,
and some
but, those,
people will, and
but
they
that's
will
not going to
suffer.
help curb this virus. Now,
Neither is
Karen,
the
you're right.
vaccine.
Even if everyone gets the shot, the virus will still be active. You're right because an airborne virus. An airborne
And
virus
even the people that
is
are getting
permanent.
the
I've said
shot
that from
are
day one.
Still getting the virus.
I said from day one,
And
it's an
still
airborne
spreading
virus.
the
So
virus.
the airborne virus is not going anywhere.
It
You
is
couldn't
not
get rid of the flu.
airborne.
You
It's
couldn't
not
get rid of cold.
airborne. It's aerosol. It's not
Aerosol,
airborne.
airborne.
It's a
The point is, it passes via the mouth. It passes through the fluid. It's airborne. It's the way you contract it is because it comes out. That's airborne. You know, it don't come. It don't.
It's aerosol, which means it sprays. Like
Well,
Hey, is your
same
CDC
thing.
guy still on the line?
He's still on the line. He had to go vote, but he says he's on his phone.
say it again.
Yeah, ask him about the fact of the virus that we're talking about is the
Call in right
weaponized
now. What's the
cold
number?
virus that they stopped
What's the number?
during the cure in '93.
Say it again.
The coronavirus that we're fighting now
What's the number?
is the COVID, not the COVID, but the COV2 virus, which is basically the the novel coronavirus that was a cold virus that the WHO, or the International World of Medicine, stopped trying to cure in 1993. That's what
Say it
this
again, I
COVID
didn't
virus
hear it.
is, and it's weaponized.
Well, it's weaponized from the beginning. We already know that part. We already know where it started from. We're just trying to now, right now, survive. Right now, you're just trying to find what's the best method at the point we are in right now to help
Okay, so the
curb
point of me saying what I
this
was
virus.
saying,
And to say everybody just go start strengthening your immune system, I'm saying is the equivalent of saying everybody still.
I was just at the game the other day, and I might have watched 15 guys walk out that bathroom without washing their hands. Easy.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So my point is that doesn't work that way. You got to do something else.
But bro, okay, look.
So
So,
you're
so
proving my
let's use the
No, I'm
example
not.
that you used. If you saw 15
are.
people walk out of the bathroom without washing their hands, did thousands of people get sick or die
We
or
don't know.
infected or contaminated from those people?
We don't know.
But see, the
It's
thing
very
about
possible.
it is you're making the choice
You don't
that
know,
you feel is
right?
right for you, but you're
You
trying
don't
to tell
know.
me I
So
can't
what you
make the
have to
choice
do
that I
is
feel
you
is
have
right.
to
Not
assume
saying you can't make
that
the choice.
That is
everybody
what you're
has.
saying.
What
By
we're saying-
mandating the vaccine, you're telling me I can't make the choice that I feel is in my best interest for my personal health.
Okay, let's cut to the chase. Ain't nobody saying you got to take it to live. All they saying is if you're a federal employee or a business of a certain size, right, that's where the mandate is. This shit you talking is way too far to the
No,
right.
they're taking the mandate way further.
I ain't heard that
That's-
shit yet. All I
Yet.
heard is, come on.
We just heard the federal mandate. Like every week there's
What does
a
the
new-
federal mandate
every
say?
week there's a new mandate.
But what
Federal
does it
mandate
say?
says that any job, any employer that has over 100 employees must mandate that their employees either take the virus or prove that they are virus-free every week.
What's wrong with that?
And y'all have a problem
It's
with it. Y'all have a
an
problem with
invasion
it.
of my rights.
What?
the problem?
To
What
go
right?
get tested?
Yes.
To
Oh,
protect
you
other
are
people.
out of your mind.
Can you take a drug test at your job? Do most
No.
jobs? Do most jobs?
Who am I
I don't
listening
work
to?
most jobs.
This is what we're
Well,
talking
do I have
about.
to take a drug
Because
test?
you already-
But that's
Because you made the choice.
that's
what we're
it,
talking
that's
about.
individual.
You said-
However, if you're offered a job making 10 times more what you make at your current job, you saying, but you have to take a drug test, you're not gonna do it.
No.
I'm not. I don't.
You don't want that job.
Okay.
I'll have to do. Wait.
Then
You
that's
have
a
to take
personal
the drug
that's a
or take
personal
the
choice.
test.
That's a personal choice. Our point is some of these personal
But my point is, if you already have the job, and that wasn't a stipulation to you getting the job, it should not now be a mandate to keep your job.
This is a right to hire and fire. They can fire you for no reason.
Yes,
Karen
they
Robertson
can.
asked this, and see if your doctor friend or DC or aunt, one of y'all can somebody answer this question. Please tell me how they know when a new COVID virus is coming out before it's here. I don't know the answer to that,
Right.
but that's a good question. The Delta variant
It's
came
already
out,
here.
but I assume I don't know. I don't know the answer to
The
that.
We
next-
got another caller.
Another
The
caller.
next thing that we're going to have is the Lambda strand.
M.A. Thomas, Emmett Thomas. Emmett Thomas, you on the line?
Oh, that's him. Yeah.
That's him. You on the line? Hello?
He said he was on the line.
Yeah, he was on.
Shorter's
there.
on the
Yeah, we had another caller too, Jaron. Hold on. Did we lose him? Emmett, you there?
Is the volume up? Emmett, are you there?
I'm trying to pull it up online real quick. They're on Facebook under Angela's site. Or classic conversations on
Emmett, are you there?
Hello?
There he
I
is.
think did you hang up?
No, there you go. Go
Hello?
ahead. Yeah, we're here. We're waiting on you, brother. Go ahead. I guess Chrissy has a question for you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh no, they had a question. You said you wanted
So-
a doctor to call in, so this
So
is a doctor.
Emmett, you're a doctor. What do you specialize in, sir?
Specialize in internal medicine.
Outstanding. Go ahead. What was the question for the doctor?
Are the hospital filled with COVID patients?
And is there a difference between the COVID vaccinated versus non-vaccinated patients?
So that's a complex question because there is a difference between vaccinated and non-vaccinated, simply in the terms of numbers of people getting as ill. But that may be complicated by the fact that a lot of the elderly people who were initially getting ill have been vaccinated. In terms of the first part of the question, whether the hospitals are full with COVID patients, the ones around here are not, but I cannot speak to the ones around the rest of the nation where they supposedly are. I will tell you this, however, in the early part of COVID, when New York was acting crazy and saying they wanted providers to come from all over the country, I and some other physicians volunteered, and they were not calling us.
You said they were not what?
They were not calling us to come there. They were claiming that they needed all these people, but they had volunteers that they were not using.
He said in the early stages of COVID, when New York and other places were asking for physicians to come volunteer, several physicians volunteered to go, but they weren't calling them. They were asking for them, but they weren't actually using them. So publicly on the news, they were saying we need volunteers, but when people were volunteering, they were saying we don't need you.
Yeah, there's several stories of that. So tell me, what is your position on vaccinated versus non-vaccinated then?
Do you think it should be mandated?
Well, what's your position first? And then the second question, do you think it be mandated? But what's your position on vaccinated versus non-vaccinated?
In what regard? That's kind of
just in terms of the public, of the request of people getting vaccinated. Do you feel like people there's a sense of urgency for people to get vaccinated, or do you feel like go ahead?
I see. So I personally think that it's like most things in medicine, it's a matter of risk versus reward, which I guess is really as most things in life. So my recommendations depend on the person, their health conditions, and primarily, above all, their age group, because COVID is a virus that affects people of certain demographics far more than it affects other demographics. If you look at any statistics on COVID, it is less virulent for people under the age of 17 than the flu is. But for people much older than 17 and in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, it's far more virulent. So it really does, and then in between, it kind of, like anything, has a gradual progression to one direction or the other. And so it really depends on who it is that comes to me and says, should I take this vaccine? If you're old, I'm going to say absolutely, you should take it. If you're young, I'm going to say it depends. So
let me ask this
question. I think that kind of answers your question.
Well, let me ask this question based on what you just said. If you're young and don't take it, but you're around older people, you're around your grandparents, you're around people who could be more susceptible to the virus, then what? Based on that,
well, those older people will have already taken the vaccine, so you're no threat to them, right?
You're not a threat to them, so you can still pass it on to them, though, correct?
But they already have had the vaccine, so they're protected.
So wait a minute. You said if they have the vaccine, they're protected?
No, they're not.
Saying the elderly people who have had the vaccine are protected. I'm sorry?
That's a lie, bro. It's not your shots do not protect anybody. You can still catch it.
That's not entirely true. The shot does protect a number of people. See, the difference is that you're dealing with statistics, right? And statistics take into account large populations. When you're talking anecdotally, you can talk about individuals. You can talk about how you saw this one group of people or this individual who had some bad outcomes. But when we talk about the utility of a drug or a vaccine, you have to talk about over large populations.
No, Doc. Does it kill it? Does it eradicate it? Are you still able to catch it? If so, not a vaccine.
Well, if you want to talk about semantics and whether it's a vaccine versus whether it's a genotherapy or whether it's a whatever you want to call it, the product being distributed as a vaccine does reduce the life-threatening nature for a large number of people. So is it medically useful?
You're lying to people. The idea. So you're eloquently lying to people by saying it might. Okay, because this is what I'm getting at. I'm a black guy. Not all black people are thugs. Not all black people are criminals. Not all black people are drug dealers. But if you say, hey, that's a black guy, doesn't mean that you got to call me a different type, a certain type of black guy. You can't label me a thug drug dealing black guy. This is not a vaccine. You're calling it something it is not. And
think he's just
because of
using-
that, you have a lot of people that are resisting what you're saying because you're referring to something that it's not. It does not act in that manner.
But
So
he's
it's
using
a
the
horrible
commonly
analogy.
accepted terminology. I'm saying he's saying vaccine to use the commonly accepted terminology. We led with vaccine, so
Right.
he's referring to it as a vaccine. He's not implying that it actually is a vaccine.
I think we all agree to that.
We agree.
Why imply it's a vaccine? Why are you implying that it's something that it's not?
Because I mean, I think Chris explained it pretty good right there. So I don't think. But let me ask this question, Doc. The other question was the mandate that's happening, for or against.
I'm 100% against the mandate, period, point blank.
And
I don't think the government should force anybody to do anything to their bodies that they don't want to do. If you want to convince people to do something, then that's your right. That's your obligation, maybe even as a person tasked with protecting the public. But trying to scare people and threaten people, intimidate people, I think goes too far, and a mandate goes way too far.
So, with that being said, is the vaccine, and Jaron, we're calling it vaccine, okay? Just stick with that for right now. Is the vaccine, is it there to help assist the curve of this virus? Or what is the vaccine for if it's not, shouldn't be mandated, or, you know, people certain ages should worry and some shouldn't concern themselves? Then what is the vaccine for? And how do we curve this virus? Is he still there?
Did we lose him?
About the trajectory of this pandemic. I'm assuming
Okay, hey, start over.
Didn't hear the last
We
word.
Start over.
we
The
lost
first
you for
part
about
of-
30 seconds. Could you start over?
Sure. You start with finishing your question so that I can answer it.
Okay. My question is, what is the purpose in your field of the vaccine? How are we going to curve? How do we curve this virus if we continue to leave it open as it is, and people have these thousands of conspiracy theories of the vaccine? You know, it causes this, it causes that. You can put a magnet on your arm and the magnet's going to stick. It's so many different things. How are we going to curve this virus?
So I'll start with the first part of that, which is what is the purpose of the vaccine? And the purpose is straightforward. It's to save the lives of as many people as possible and to reduce the number of patients clogging the medical facilities. And that purpose is partially being served through people taking the vaccine or taking the vaccine. That said, the virus, as I was kind of inferring earlier, primarily affects the elderly. And vaccinating as many elderly as possible should be the objective. When you're talking about all of the different stories, all the different things that are being said to scare people, the propaganda from one way or the other, right? You just said something about people hearing that once you take the vaccine, magnets stick to your skin or to your body, or I haven't heard that one in particular, but there are a bunch of wise tales maybe. There are a bunch of stories out there about the vaccine, but the truth is there is no long-term data from the vaccine. And in my professional opinion, that's the most concerning part.
Right.
You can say whatever you want. You might know one person who took the vaccine and then died. It doesn't mean they died from the vaccine. It means they died. And two things occurring at the same time does not imply that one thing caused the other thing. And so you have to look at large data sets. And the only way we'll be able to look at large data sets is in the future. Right. So we just don't know. And there's been other drugs and other vaccines and other medical processes that we thought were safe at the time. And we look back from the view 20 years down the line. Well, hindsight is 20/20, and we learned then that we never should have been given this thing to these people. But you could not have said that at the time, and that's where we are right now. We're at the time, so I don't know what the future holds. I know a lot of the stuff out there people are saying is ridiculous, doesn't make any sense, and doesn't have any bearing. If not only because there's not enough data out to even say it's true.
Okay, so based on that, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, so based on what you're saying, there is not enough data. This is because it's fairly new to us, right? But when I take a story such as there's a 17-year-old student, high school student in Douglas County who died from COVID, right? And the parents were told that the difference between life and death for that kid was being vaccinated and not. So, is that an accurate statement? And if so, just on a scenario like that, I guess I'm still confused on how how being mandated is an issue. If you can save, because your opening statement was the vaccination is to save people's lives. That's what you said. So how do we argue? How do we argue with that?
Everyone.
Well, it is to save lives, but it's to say it. You can make it a broad statement and say it's to save lives, or you can make it a more precise statement and say that it's to save lives, and the lives that will be saved are the lives of people who are over the age of 55, primarily. By an order of magnitude, it's going to be those people that are saved. The people who are young, the people who are under the age of 20, how many of their lives are being saved? A very tiny amount, and we take risks in life, right? We don't mandate the flu vaccine. We recommend the flu vaccine to kids and the elderly and everyone else, but primarily those two groups. But we don't mandate the flu vaccine. The flu is more dangerous and has taken more lives of young people than COVID. Every year the flu does this. We don't mandate the flu vaccine. We're mandating COVID vaccines. We're not doing that yet. That's not true. We're headed towards mandating COVID vaccines because of the political atmosphere and
was the flu
people's hysteria.
Was the flu ever considered a worldwide pandemic?
Yes.
I mean, okay. The Spanish flu.
It's still a flu.
Right. And then how did that get curved?
People still get the flu.
How did it get curved?
People still get the flu.
Well, I mean,
My question is, how did it
over
get
time,
time is the healer of
over
all
time,
things.
people built up immunities in their body. The people that survived it have built up immunities and passed those antibodies down to their children and their children's
the
children.
flu vaccine was created because of
Okay,
what?
tell me this, though, with regard to COVID. If you get COVID and you recover, would it still be necessary to get vaccinated, or do you have enough antibodies in your body already to protect you?
All of the medical evidence available points to the fact that naturally recovering from COVID provides higher protection than getting even 2 vaccines and a booster. You're going to be more protected by actually contracting and recovering from COVID naturally, and even more so protected from variants like Delta or Lambda than you would be from vaccines made from the original variation of the COVID virus. So I don't know why it's not being shared that people who naturally recovered from COVID are protected. It should be. As far as I can tell, there is a large push to get the vaccine. It's being pushed so fervently that they're disregarding other useful things that should be shared.
So,
excuse me.
real question,
Can I be heard? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on one sec.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
One more question, Doc. So, are we? I know you said there's not enough data and all that stuff, but COVID has been around for like 1940, 50 something, correct?
I think 1980.
When it depends on what you
It's
mean.
been around.
And with
COVID has
COVID.
Go ahead.
COVID is a classification of virus type, right? So there's not. That's why it's COVID-19, right? This one is the 19 version of the different strains of COVID that we found. And it's kind of like dogs, right? You have different breeds of dogs. You have different breeds of these virus types. Mm-hmm. And the 19 variation, it was novel, or it is novel. It first showed up, assuming they weren't playing with it in a lab somewhere, it first showed up in around October of last year. Or not last year, but the year before,
right.
2019.
Right.
The October surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Jaron, you had a question for the doctor?
I did. I want a chance to interject and introduce myself. One, I'm Dominic. They call me D-Nick. I'm a poet and advocate, a teacher, a social worker. I do a lot of underground things.
I can't
I'm
hear
not
you.
a doctor in no clinical sense, but I like the fact that you guys have a doctor. It was perfect. I've listened to everything the doc said. One, I do not disagree. Anything they said, I'm taking notes. I want to run them back. And the last thing I spoke about was the October surprise. And that's a theory that says
speak up.
Whoever it is, if you're talking on a speaker or something, you gotta speak directly to the phone because you're going in and out.
All right. Can you hear me clearly?
There you go. Now we hear you.
All right. So I want to talk first about the October surprise. And that's just a theory that says that during October, something crazy happens that spirals things and changes the weight on either side of an election. Then the doctor was talking about contracting and recovering from the COVID-19 is better than actually getting a vaccination or the so-called vaccination. I did the bunny ears. And that's a real thing. Then we went back to the political maneuvering that's going on, which harkens back to this October surprise, which is ironic. I wanted to underline this thing, and it was that the flu is more dangerous. The regular old flu is more dangerous than this particular pandemic. How many people died right away is less than the amount of people that are dying now, and there was a far less population. Even multiplying. Now, it's the flu, just regular old, everybody gets the flu. I think everybody on this conversation or everybody in this conversation had the flu before and have recovered from it. And now it's like weaker and weaker every time you get it to a certain effect because your body does it naturally. I understand using a outside form of it to inject you with it to get your body and your immune system used to dealing with such a thing. But I can't get away from the fact that we know history telling us time and time again that they guinea pig with us. Yep. It's not like we are the cream of the crop and they are just experimenting with us. They use the propaganda to turn us into the new guinea pigs because the only way to find out how something's going to work on a human is to use it on humans. Like they try with other animals all the time. They only get partial results. And then they try to pontificate off those partial results and come up with something that they feel is necessary to administer to humans because they used to value humans. Then I get to the part where Doc says that death is inevitable, which is so real. So inoculating the elders, you're going to put a couple of years on their life by protecting them from this virus, then that's cool. That's cool. I'm not against that. But death is inevitable. There was a little girl in Minnesota where I live that she got shot while sitting at the kitchen table while her mother was cooking. She was doing her homework. The bullet came through the wall and hit her. That's when I realized ain't none of us in control over when that's going to happen. And not just a disease. So if you get it and you gone, then it's your time. It's just your time. Then, before that, they were talking about there's not enough data because there isn't. It's too new. And in order to get this data, that's why they do studies for years and years and years, and maybe even decades. And we still go look back at things from hundreds of years ago and try to figure out how real it is and how fake it is. And like Doc was saying and bringing up, that a lot of these things have been disproven decades later, where you're like, hold on, this is not the answer. This is what we could come up with in our thought process at the time to be the answer, which I think that might have been a little bit of political leveraging as well going on into the clouded the actual premise of finding the cure for things. But that's another thing. Now we're going to go into the declogging the hospital, where it's like, of course, they want to use those beds as much as they can. So there's money.
Exactly.
I get confused with the same individuals that would charge you for diabetes medication that was caused by a system that they in cahoots with, the Food and Drug Administration. I'm going to go FDA, right? How is food and drug connected in such a manner where naturally they're combined together in a government entity to help deal with us over here in America? Sounds like a coincidence to me, but I digress. What I'm going to get to is that if they going to declog the hospitals, that means they just want to rotate the bed. It's not that they don't want people there. They want people there. They need people there. And then if they find a way to get the most money out of their beds, and they've had since Jesus Christ, I don't know what time they had in human history where they had this many people in their bed that were eventually going to go home. And I'm done.
I have a question for you, mandate people.
Go ahead.
All the people that want mandates. If the vaccine, as you call it, was mandated and everybody on Earth got vaccinated, and we found out 10 years from now that this vaccine made people sterile, how would you feel about the fact that it was mandated then?
I would only feel away if I wanted kids.
Or grandkids, or
yeah.
I think what the brother just said a minute ago. All right, number one, I want to get the stats for the people deaths of the flu versus COVID, and I think you'll see the numbers are incredibly different. Number two, I think and I said earlier, the COVID has been around, and the doctor confirmed it's been around a long time, so it's not brand new. It just became weaponized. All right, but it's not brand new. And you're saying that we have a worldwide guinea pig lab, worldwide. Right. Countries that have nothing to do with the U.S., could care anything about the U.S., have COVID issues. It was worldwide. So we're saying we have a worldwide guinea pig. That's what we're saying. We really believe that.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
They're the people that created it are telling you that.
Let me say this too though. Did the doctor not say that he thought the elderly people need to get the vaccine?
He said that that particular group can be could more likely be benefited by getting the vaccine.
Okay. So,
But he also said,
hold on. Let me finish.
No.
So it's helpful in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
First thing the
And he
doctor
said
said
it's
was, and I
helpful
asked
in
what's the
some
vaccine
demographics.
for, his first statement was to save lives. That was the first thing he said.
said to
Okay.
protect people.
He said to save lives.
So let me say this:
Words.
to protect people and to save lives doesn't sound like something that is harmful. I'm
Just
just
because it doesn't
being
sound
honest.
harmful doesn't mean it's not harmful.
I'm not
Let
disputing.
me clarify
I'm not
my
disputing
own
that. I'm not
position.
disputing that.
The doctor's trying to clarify
Go ahead,
his own
Miss.
statement.
Go ahead, Dr. Thomas.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my position in saying that elderly people should get the vaccine is two parts need clarification. One part is that the elderly people are far more susceptible. So in terms of numbers, right, if you're over the age of 80, 14% of people who get COVID are going to likely die from it. If you're 10 years old and out of 500,000 people that get COVID, 0 are going to die from it. That tells you the difference in age group is tremendous. If you're old, it's dangerous for you. If you're young, it's far, far less dangerous. I can't say not dangerous because there's going to be one person out there who dies and somebody's going to say this person died and it was dangerous for them. So I won't say none, but damn near close to it. It's a sliding scale on its level of impact on different age groups. So am I saying elderly people should get it? It's because they're at much higher risk of a bad outcome. Second part of it is where you were just saying you're a guinea pig, you don't trust it because it's on emergency use, or maybe it just got off emergency use, you don't trust the timeline, you don't trust the people who are in charge, you think that they might lie to you because they lied to you in the past. All of these things. And someone said, well, what if in 20 years you're sterile? Or what if in 20 years you find out something has happened? Well, if you're already 70, in 20 years, you're going to be dead anyway. So those long-term effects that might be happening coming down the line, if you're elderly, it doesn't matter if it was true. So on both sides of the argument, your risk is less because you don't have much longer to live, and your reward is higher because it's more dangerous for your group of people. It's less because you don't have much longer to live, and your reward is higher because it's more dangerous for your group of people. It's less because you don't have much longer to live, and your reward is higher because it's dangerous for your group. It's repeating what I'm saying over and over.
Yeah. It's a slight delay, so turn your volume down.
It's repeating what I'm saying.
There you go. Okay, so Doc, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you vaccinated?
I'm not vaccinated.
And you're in the hospitals. If they mandate the vaccination, what are you going to do?
Fortunately, I don't work in a hospital. I don't like the hospital setting.
You have a private
so
practice.
I work outside of a hospital. And secondly, I've had COVID, and so I'm protected already anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a question though.
He said he's had COVID. He's already
In your
protected
argument that you were putting up against with it is not even an argument. In your statement, you're clarifying with the senior citizens. One thing that I think that we need to take into consideration with in our conversation is the people with compromised immunity systems that died from that makes the high numbers of COVID also. And then this new strain is supposed to be able to or is more susceptible to childbearing women. So it's the different effects that these viruses are doing, and it's also the fact that we are not taking in consideration all these other numbers that go in, or these other principles, factors for these numbers, because the people who have weaker immune systems, a lot of those made up the numbers of the deaths. And then a lot of deaths has also risen from, false reports. But, people been dying for cancer. Then when they die from cancer, we tested them and they had COVID. That kind of shit too. But just to give another side of the conversation and what the doctor was saying, the senior citizens should also get, should get the shot.
It should still be their choice
boost their immunity. And people with weak immune systems should get the shot to boost their immunity system. But making it mandatory for everybody else to get it, not necessary.
Yeah, I just think, yeah. I mean, that's great in theory, but I just think, how many people even know they have a weak immune system? How do they just automatically know that?
Most people know if they have a weak
No, that
immune
17-year-old
system,
did. That 17-year-old died. He didn't know that. How does a 17-year-old know he has a weak immune system? Who told him?
You don't know if he has new or not.
Yeah, exception to the rule. Exception to the rule is not the norm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think as in anything, you do things for preventive maintenance, and
You
you do
should
things.
have the option to. You should not have to be. It should not affect your livelihood or your life choice. Like, I don't feel like it should be mandated. That's my argument. Period. Like, I really believe, because we don't know the long-term side effects, we don't know the potential causes, and nobody, like the doctor said, is speaking about the fact that if you have it and recover, your ability to fight it off is far greater, he said, than getting both shots and a booster. Far greater. Significantly
And everybody
greater. And a
can
lot of
still
people,
do it.
if you look at the numbers of COVID statistics,
If-
it's telling you
that's correct.
millions of people.
If
hold
you
on,
live through it,
hold
correct.
on. Millions of people have gotten COVID. 98% of them have recovered. The frustrating thing for me with regard to statistics, especially the ones that are written on the news media, is it's always telling you how many people got it, how many people died, but it's not giving any highlight to the fact of how many people recovered. These are hypothetical numbers for all of you statisticians out there, but if 11 million people get it and 500,000 die, that means 10,500,000 people recovered and now have a higher ability to fight off the virus and therefore don't need a vaccine.
But what if half of those 500,000?
Anyway,
but
they're
what if
already dead. We can't help them.
But what if the 500,000, half of them could have survived?
Then that's why they should have the option to take it, but it shouldn't be mandatory for the other 10,500,000 who now have enough antibodies in their immune system to fight it without a vaccine.
I agree with you, but like I said, the difference is what I was saying is what Biden is saying are private companies. That's their choice. I'm not saying
But
that your
that's
choice
not
ain't.
what we're talking about.
They do have that choice because it's their
That's not what
company.
we're talking about.
And why? Because they're going to be around people on a regular
We're
basis.
talking
The military, they're going to be
about whether or not it
around
should be
people
mandated,
so much.
period.
People in federal buildings, they're
He
going to
did
be
not
around.
say he did not say private
at
companies.
jobs.
No,
That's where it's
that
at.
is the current. That's the current
He did
law
not say
that's
private
been
companies.
passed.
So now
But
you're
with every-
Nostradamus.
No,
So
hold
you're
on.
Nostradamus.
So hold on. Let me ask the doctor a real question. Hold on, Doc. What about the measles, the smallpox, the whooping cough? What's your theory on those vaccinations?
Those are vaccines.
That's
First off, let's start. Let's not compare something like COVID to something like smallpox.
Why?
Okay.
Why? Why can't we compare it?
That's just rude. That's just disrespectful to anybody out there, because COVID kills 1% of the population that it affects, and it primarily only affects older people, whereas smallpox kills 30% of everybody. So you're talking about Mike Tyson versus my brother. Like, that's not the same thing. So let's not make those arguments. But the other part of that argument is this: we don't mandate measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, right? We make it mandatory for kids to get them to go to school, but there's no nationwide mandate
right?
for those.
If they can't go to school without it, how's that not mandated?
There are exceptions.
No, it's chartered at the school, public school, right? You can go to private school and there's exceptions, but you can also just not go to school and home teach your kids. There's no
with With those vaccines,
there's a
there are
school.
religious exemptions available that you can use, and your kids can still
There's
go
a
to public
school
schools even
requirement,
without
not
the
a federal
vaccine.
mandate. That's a different thing, and it's only for kids, right? It's not for adults. They're not telling all adults they have to go out and get all of these vaccines
Because
that
they
we all
already
got when we were kids.
because they already had it.
But what if they didn't?
No, we
Some,
got it
some,
because we
had
went
it,
to
some
school.
haven't had it. Let's
Lots of
put it like
people
this. Let's
haven't
put it like
gotten
this.
it.
What
But
about
you're not the
TB,
requirement to be
tuberculosis, a highly contagious infection?
Whooping
Right?
cough.
There is a vaccine for tuberculosis. People in South America get it all the time.
All the time.
Why don't we get it here?
Cricket.
Silent.
Cricket.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't answer that question.
Someone has a question for me?
It's not about the danger or the virility of the particular virus or pathogen that you're referring to. The problem with COVID is the political environment and the hysteria around it. We have since the beginning bungled this whole process. And now trying to make mandates is 100% anti-American. It doesn't, for a country that claims to be free, how are you going to tell somebody what they need to put in their body because you want to protect whom exactly? Since when is America about protecting groups of individuals?
Right.
It has to be the right group of individuals that you want to protect in order for America to go ahead and decide they want to do something.
Yeah, you're ready to keep my
I would
mic,
imagine
man.
because those people are still exposing themselves to the rest of the world. They're not getting the vaccine, nor are they wearing masks. They're saying we don't believe, and so they're exposing
People
themselves,
should
and
have
exposing
the
everybody
option to
else.
believe in
We
what
don't have
they
an
want.
option on what to believe.
Well, then
That's like making
then those people
Catholicism
should
a
be
mandate
required
that
to
we should
wear a
all have
mask.
the same religion.
Then they should be mandated to wear a mask
Why?
because you're exposing yourself. You're still putting other people in
If
jeopardy.
you're vaccinated and you're protected, you should not be worried about what anybody else is doing because you've protected
Because you can
yourself.
still get it, which means you can still pass
Wait,
it on.
say that again. So I
Exactly.
couldn't
You're
hear you.
making a circular argument. If you can
I'm
still
not.
get it and you can still pass it on, whether you're vaccinated or not, then it doesn't matter whether you're vaccinated or not. So it should still be open to choice.
And hey, psych, bro, but he said, in what he said that the coronavirus will kill 1% of the people that it's infecting. That's it. That's what the doctor just said. So 1% of the people that is infected by the coronavirus. Where is Mr. Infected at? So by the coronavirus will die from the infection. Now, if we're talking about 100% population getting the virus, that means 99% will survive.
Right.
And you're sitting here showing the fear of that 1%. That's like, hey, I went and did a great job and I did 99 things right and I fucked up once. And now you want to kill me, scold me over that 1%. Cat Williams called y'all 2% bitches. You know that shit? You remember that shit? Bro, I understand.
So how are you justifying the entire country being shut down?
I'm not. I'm not justifying that dumbass.
There was a reason why the entire country was shut down, right? Wasn't that reason? The entire country, not the United States of America, the entire world was shut down.
So that's the question.
Brother, I don't agree with this shit, but I can tell you I got a whole lot of
conspiracy
fucking
too.
reasons why it
You're
did
not
it.
asking the right questions.
Okay.
This medical shit is some bullshit. Like, again, Corona is as
France,
real as
England,
Israel.
Italy, and Australia all have mandated vaccines.
Right.
Hey, again,
But this great country that we have, you
What's the
got
real agenda?
to curb the spread.
Excuse me. Hello. Can y'all hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Can anybody hear me?
We can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
I have a question for the brother speaking because I tuned in a little late. I've been on for a couple minutes, but I have a question. what is your purpose or goal or argument to saying these points? Because the things that I'm hearing from you, they just seem argumentative.
They are argumentative against the fact that they're telling you is truth.
Wait, who was your question for?
No. I'm in here trying to listen and understand, and I can hear where Big G's coming from because he's speaking from a solid point. I don't understand where you're coming from right now. I just hear complaints. So I'm wondering, what is your stance, your position right now?
Mine is not a complaint. Mine is going with the actual solution that was created to help the world.
Man,
it's a solution. What I haven't heard from you all is what's the solution then? The solution is to continue to go status quo, because we're saying, it's just this 1%. Until that 1%
hit. A bullet wound is not a solution.
So what's the solution?
The solution is to get and build up your immunity to it.
Okay.
Everybody should just get it. And then 99% of us will survive, and 1% will die, and now we'll all have the antibodies in our system, so we won't all get it again. There's your solution. Everybody get it.
That is exactly how the Spanish flu was cured.
That's how the Spanish flu was cured.
That's the doctor said something about that.
Everybody get it.
He was speaking about how you will eventually gain the immunity necessary. Because that's what we do. We fight things off. Our body wants to survive. The virus doesn't even improve your chances of surviving.
You all understand this is a weaponized. You understand it's a weaponized vaccine, a weaponized virus.
It's a weaponized
This was not the standard virus. This was a weaponized
everything
virus.
A weapon, bro, but no weapon form to get yourself properly.
No weapon form to get me.
All these weapons out here, bro. I don't care. They're gonna have to see me with a little ass weapon.
Bro, it's going to come right now. Right now, the virus that is out right now,
I believe
it's supposed to be deadly against the childbearing women.
Yeah.
Right? Childbearing women.
William?
Say again.
It's the virus that they're talking about now, the strain now, the Delta strain. It's supposed to be dangerous against childbearing women, and it has. And I'm not saying. Hold on. Let me say this. It is. I'm not saying no more supposed to. It is. It is weaponized in the fact in which it affects.
Based on what?
More child.
Based on what? What is that coming from? What are you using that to base that on?
The national statistics say that there are more younger people dying from the Delta virus, age-bearing women from the Delta virus, and the next strain that they're going to have come out is going to be called the Lambda virus. When that comes out, LAMBDA, I believe is going to be called, as it's called. That's going to attack a specific group also. And they're going to know all that information from these worldwide guinea pigs that they're collecting this data from the different cultures. And they're going to be able to give you that information to increase your fear and make people take more of these vaccines. But hey,
global guinea pig.
We can keep talking about this bullshit if you want to. I don't care about you being a guinea pig. Don't try to make me feel bad about being a guinea pig. But what I will do about not being a guinea pig. But what I will do is wear a mask in public because I want to wash my hands and make sure that I stay clean, take my zinc, my elderberries, all the natural stuff that's necessary to stay healthy against this deadly killer of 1% of its people that it might attack. Wow.
I'm offer that if you want to do something to curb the way that this vaccine virus plays out, is what you do is you don't isolate the whole nation. That's silly. Everybody's not affected equally. You isolate the elderly. You let the young, healthy people contract the virus, recover from the virus. They're not going to get sick. Hardly any of them are going to get sick. A few might have a severe complication. And when I say in terms of numbers, we're not talking about 1%. We're talking about 0.0001%.
Say it again.
And those people will build up immunity, and they will provide the herd immunity that everybody's been talking about, where some people have it, such that it stops spreading.
That's where we should be now. We should be there now. Since we had all these, I believe it was like 69 million cases or something like that of the coronavirus. I'm not really sure, but we had 600,000 deaths. Wow. And that's what y'all know. Y'all know that. And that's what y'all reacting to.
Okay. Well, again, at the end of the day, it's a choice. You know, everybody has to make their own decision. You know,
where's CDC guy?
He's not on the line anymore, but he's still on the site.
I want to hear him put his CDC information against what Doc's saying over here.
Well, you know, I think you can always get an argument either way. You know, if you have someone
his job is to sell propaganda, bro. His job is to sell propaganda. Plain shit, plain and simple. That's his job. Sell propaganda for the kids.
I find it hard to believe that we have a worldwide propaganda. I find it hard to believe that you have all these countries I just named that are mandating the vaccine and won't allow the people from this country to enter their country without it. I think there's a reason for that.
Why is it hard for you to believe that there's worldwide?
Sorry, guys, I got to bow off the line.
Nobody likes each other that
All
much to get together.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson, for joining us.
We appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for your information.
All right. So with that being said,
a second, bro. Did you just say that you can't conceive that there's a worldwide?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I said. 100%.
All right.
100%.
I'm confused.
I'm confused on how you're confused.
Do you not pay attention to what goes on in
Only
the world?
because in the context of there being worldwide diabolical schemes, me being a black person, I believe there is a worldwide diabolical scheme. With people pulling the levers of power in certain places have an understanding.
All right, and if they can instill fear in you, they can control you, just like they're doing.
My question is, when they're having all these conversations with each other, they're congregating and they're collecting together. Where are we at? We're scattered around. We're not congregating. We're not collective together. We don't have a collective mind.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about us as a community of black people. I'm telling you, if you're saying that these people are doing this on purpose, they have to be together doing this. They have to be planning it, right?
Yeah. All these world leaders got together and said we're gonna kill all our people.
Okay, hold
So
on.
if
You
they're
said it was a weaponized
so if
virus,
they're
right?
no, all I'm saying, if they're around,
It's a
hold on, I'm not saying
that,
Do you
Angelo.
or do you not believe it was a weaponized virus that was created by a person?
a person. You said,
and do you not
a
believe
person.
that person had an agenda when they created
a
it?
person?
Not one
I
person,
just said,
not
I said,
one,
I didn't
not
say,
a person. People. There were several people in the creation process.
Hey, bro.
COVID,
Can I
let's
get
say 10. Let's say
It's
10.
been around.
Give a number. Give me a number.
Right.
I don't know
Can I
the
give
number. I wasn't in the
an answer to
lab.
that though?
That's all I'm saying. So
These things have been designed in labs years prior.
Right.
a long time ago.
So when they decide to utilize them, this is a decision that is made. And to further go on with that, the end game, and if you pay attention to what's happening, I see a lot of paradigm shifting. I see a lot of businesses, a lot of industries making some shifts, some ideas being passed, some laws being passed, some liberties being given up,
Trillions of dollars being
powers being changed. There's a whole paradigm shift here while we sit here and argue about this 1% virus killer. So, I mean, again, bro, when you say there's a worldwide propaganda scheme, yes, we are absolutely right. And we, as black people, sit here and argue about, no, there isn't. Yes, there is. No, there isn't. That's bullshit, bro. It is. And it happens in the financial system. And from the financial systems, it's going to happen on the legal system, and things will continue to fall down chain. We are in the brink of a civil war right now amongst the people. And when you have the civil war amongst the people, you will have a change in your currency. You will have a change in your survival, and things will make a complete different change, paradigm shift. There's a big push for electric everything. There's a big push for the virtual. world, I'm making more money than any of you right now on digital real estate than you are making on real estate. I guarantee you that. So it's a paradigm shift on what is going to make our new culture and civilization. Let's have that argument.
Well, we can't have it tonight.
But I'm with you. Call next week.
Yeah, okay. Carlos, we appreciate it, man. We're gonna go into our top 5 real quick because we ran over time. But it was a great conversation, great dialogues. What Classic Conversations is all about. Everybody has an opinion. We're open to everybody to share their opinion. You know what I mean? And nobody is here to force. Well, we're not. You know, but everybody has a legitimate argument to their point. You know, I don't necessarily believe everything, but you know, there's so many conspiracy theories, and I just think we as black folks, we buy into the conspiracy theories quicker than others.
No, we don't.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We buy into them, and we buy into them fast. Well, propaganda, conspiracy, all on the same street. You know what I mean? But you know. You make the choice that's best for you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
All I'm asking.
Well, I understand that. Just don't go federal.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
This EJ, I just want to say, first of all, I'm kind of stinging because I missed like the last 5-6 minutes of the conversation because y'all got me and my cousin debating and we had to mute the phone so that we ain't interrupt everything. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say that's what's beautiful about this right here. You know what I'm saying? Is because, shoot, even though we ain't come to this is how we save everything, y'all. Like, the conversation started in like, y'all just started in my house. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
And I know it's gonna go from here. So, hey, D-Nick, thank you for tuning me into this, man, because I needed this low key.
Well, we appreciate the call, then, brother. We appreciate
this is dope. My bad. One more thing. My name is EJ Easley on Facebook. Y'all, please find me and hit me up, friend me, and then let me know the next time we do this.
Absolutely. We here every Tuesday night, brother. Every Tuesday night, Classic Conversations. Feel free to join in,
okay,
and we appreciate that information you gave. And you're right. We love the conversation. So listen, real quick.
Man, I love this.
Top five for the week. It's gonna be a little curve. Gotta put your thinking caps on. Top 5 game shows of all time. Top 5 game shows of all time. You ready, Christy? Top 5 game shows of all time.
My top 5?
Your top 5.
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The $25,000 pyramid. The Price is Right. And Deal or No Deal.
Okay. Dwayne?
Game shows.
Top 5 game shows.
Double Dare.
Double Dare.
Guts. Okay.
Guts. Okay, I ain't familiar with that one.
The Legend of the Hidden Tomb. Okay. These are all shows from my childhood because those are game shows. Okay.
All right.
All right. Then I'm going to say Wheel of Fortune. And last but not least, my all-time favorite game show, Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Only know 2 answers to show it, but it makes me feel good.
Come on, Will. Top 5 game shows.
I had to go with Jeopardy, Family Feud, the dating game, the Newlywed Game.
That's a good one.
How many of those?
That's 3, right?
4.
You old enough to remember more than that. Come on.
I'm trying to remember the one I was on, but no, I can't remember. So.
We still need.
I got to come up with one. Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
No. Let's make a deal.
Ah, good one. All right. Alexis got Family Feud, Price is Right, Double Dare, Jeopardy, The Love Connection, and Let's Make a Deal.
You were on Love
Were you really? Did you make a connection? Did you make a connection, Will?
So close.
All right, Alina got Family Feud, Newlywed Game, Wheel of Fortune, Let's Make a Deal, To Tell the Truth. Yeah, tell the truth. All right. I'll wait for anybody else, but I'll give mine. I got Family Feud. It's probably my favorite of all time. We used to play Family Feud all the time back in the day at the house, grandparents' house. I was always, what's my man's name? Nah, wait before Steve Harvey. Lynn, was it? I can't remember his name now. Need to help me out. I'll get it. I can't remember his name. But I was always that role. So I got what I say: Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right, Richard Dawson. Thank you, Orlena. Richard Dawson, the Kissing Bandit. The Kissing Bandit. Price is Right, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune. I'm gonna go with The Love Connection. That was always a good one. And $25,000 Pyramid. Jaren got You're the Weakest Link, Pressure Luck. Pressure Luck was good. Jeopardy, The Price is Right, and Hollywood Squares. Good one, Jaren. Hollywood Squares. That was a good show. All right, that's all the ones I got so far. Nate, I can't believe you didn't put yours in yet. So anyway, another classic conversation. This one, this was a side topic that went to the full topic. Unexpected, but that's what classic conversations is all about. We go anywhere, and there it goes. But
we stuck to it.
And great convo. I know, right? Hollywood Squares.
Y'all went in on me this time. Y'all teamed up on me.
Oh man, wait! You go back and read some of the comments.
I ain't scared.
But anyway, man, classic conversation. Christy, tell them where they can follow you.
Christy Gaynell. That's Christ Y Christy Gaynell Gaynell. That's on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. And just don't follow me around town, and we're good.
I don't see Nita's. Orlando, I don't see it. Thank you, Lionel. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. I got your message, too. I don't see Nita's. Jaren said he had you, Christy. He had your back.
I appreciate Jaren. Like, you was my boy. You held me down this episode. Thank you for that. And Dr. Thompson, you came in and helped me out, too. So I appreciate all y'all coming in at the last minute to save me.
Yeah. You had some troops tonight, didn't you?
They was trying to get me. Look, they tried to put me on the ropes tonight, but y'all came through for me. So I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Had me out here fighting by myself for a minute, though.
It's above Jaren's. Oh, neat. Okay, there it goes. The Pyramid, To Tell the Truth, Family Feud, Let's Make a Deal. Oh, name that tune. Good one. Good one. He said you still a guinea pig, Lo. Aside, I'll be that guinea pig this time, buddy.
Y'all just gonna smile and let
And when I get my booster, I'm gonna get
like
that
the
too.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah, okay. Worldwide. Anyway, hey man, classic conversation with JT and Lo. It was a great show, great dialogue. We're gonna pull some clips from this one. We want folks to hear this show. But we thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate all the comments. Good dialogue, good arguing.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you coming in. We'll be back next Tuesday. Maybe we'll get to that next subject. We're going to talk about the abortion laws and what have you. 'Cause I think it's kind of crazy. But anyway, love you too, brother. All right, man. Classic conversation with JT and Lo. We out.
What a time it is in this country to face the music. But perhaps first, we have to put a face to the music. Ebony hued, big lips and wide nose. A family tree with a godfather of soul saying it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Whether Stax or Motown, the fact is profound. Black music is this nation's greatest cultural export. It is a source of refuge and rebellion, of protest and peace, of Billie Holiday singing of strange fruit, swinging in the southern breeze. Emmett Till found face down, floating in a Spotify stream. No man knoweth the day, the night, or the hour. But when Chuck D told us to fight the power, when Gil Scott got us to think in depth, when Marian Anderson had to sing on those Lincoln steps, when Marvin asked, what's happening, brother? Which way is America? Living color, NWA or Darius Rucker, it is no wonder the black voice is an authentic American voice, prophetic and prudent. And if the music matters, then perhaps so should the black lives that produced it.